All right now. Hey, how's everybody doing? It's August 23rd, and it's 2020, and maybe some of you are wanting to get a workout in, and maybe you thought the gym was the only place you can do some of your workouts. That is because I'm specifically talking to people who might be a little beleaguered in the knee or hip. Maybe you've got a history of injury there, or for whatever reason it's just kind of bothering you. And maybe it has in the past. Maybe these injuries are reoccurring or nagging. So I wanted to give a pretty general workout for that population. Hip, knee, ankle, some of this stuff. Most of this stuff will probably be for those that I'm talking about. So let's run this in a circuit style. So what I mean by that is as differentiated between a structure of working between two exercises, going back and forth 3 or 4 times. We're going to do 6 exercises, and once we're done with the 6th exercise, we're going to start back from the top after an extended rest period. So you want to work yourself into a state of fatigue by the end of that 6th exercise. You can get some rest in between these, but you want to keep it minimal. And if you find that you're getting more than a minute rest on any one of these versions of each exercise, then take it down a notch, because we're going for a little bit of cardiovascular effect when we do this. All right, so we're going to start off here with one that will probably be the most demanding for you, and that is the quadriceps. And I really like this one because it takes the knee out of the normal angle that it will find itself in when you're solely supporting yourself without any kind of assistance at all. It will be supported by the wall, and we can go up and down without any friction by using a Swiss ball. And I'm going to set myself up here. I could really pump up the Swiss ball all the way with the pump I had. So we're going to use one that is a little, less tight than I normally like it. But all you're going to do is, turn away from the wall, and you want to position that Swiss ball directly behind your bottom, maybe a little bit above. And at first, then I can kick my feet away from it, and I'm actively leaning against the wall here. Okay, and I want my feet, I want them pointed forward. I can give myself a little leeway in that regard. I can have them out a little bit like that. Now just remember, the farther you walk out away from the wall, the harder it is for you to be able to come back up out of that hole, what they call the hole of the squat. So if you get way out here, you're going to get low, but it's going to be a little bit more hip. And just doing that one, you just really ascertain your comfort level as you descend. You want to make sure that you can get back up out of that. So make sure you're not going down so far that you can't get back up. And if you find yourself in that position, I think what you might be able to do, and I'm probably just being a worrywart here, but maybe push against the wall, and that'll give you some tension there and help you back up. All right, so we're going to knock out. We want to go double digits with this style of workout, so at least 10, and you can manipulate that. If any one joint, like in that one, the knee, that's the one we're targeting, is really bothering you, then I would just do 10. And then, or if it was actively hurting, I would take it out and double up on something else. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, right now, we got something exciting, and it's called the row. Now, it's a back exercise. And if you've heard me talk at all, you know that the back is the hardest to challenge when you have no equipment. But there are things you can do, and one of which is, if you do have the luxury in this day and age, and I do mean a luxury, of owning just a dumbbell or a kettlebell, use it because you'll need it. And we'll do the typical, what I've been calling a single arm shortstop throw. And I call it that because I want you to actively support your torso through the arm on the knee bone, like this. And then I'm going to push out with my stomach and assist in, kind of pushing against the momentum I'm generating as I go up with my arm. I'm pushing out with my stomach. Does that make sense? I hate using that phrase, and it's the first time I'm using it. I've become one of those people. No, so it's kind of a timing deal. So you've got to make sure you're real tight in the stomach, okay? Because otherwise it's going to look like this. And you can tell that's no good. It hurts me doing it. So what you got to do is be diligent on maintaining a rigid core by actively pushing it out with the inside of the stomach as you pull the elbow back. All right? Keep the elbow tight and keep it in its joint. You don't want it slumping down. So keep it back. Breathe in and then breathe out. And see, that breathing out will start generating that mechanism in your stomach I was talking about. Okay. Again, at least 10 on each side. Don't let the shoulders travel up toward the ears. If you feel that, then you don't have to have a mirror. You know that you're rounded in the back, so stop it. Okay, so now we're back to lower body. Let's get a hamstring move in. And thought we'd go bridges. It's a bridge to somewhere. And I forgot. Look, I know a lot of you don't own dumbbells right now, or if you did, they might not be that challenging in that way. So I'm going back to the back exercise I was talking about. In that case, there's lots of things that you can do actually. So this is going to be the same. Row is going to be in the name of the exercise. It's going to look completely different. Don't worry about it. Don't let that throw you. This is just a ratcheting or what they call a lashing strap. So all this is, you can pick it up at Lowe's and then just loop it around something. I'm not going to use my squat rack because not everybody owns this model home. All right, so I've looped around this hole here, this rung in my closet, and I'm going to challenge my grip on this variation. So if you don't have a strong grip, you're going to be limited with what your hands can muster and not your back. But all this is kind of an exercise in getting the back involved in things you're already doing, like opening a door or picking up something when you're bent over. That's your lat. And it's a wide muscle. It starts in the front of your humerus here. It wraps around the torso and it starts in that thoracolumbar area. And so it covers a wide swath, so you're cutting out a lot when you're doing this one. All you'll do is make sure there's 3 criteria here. Arm straight. Now you can give yourself a little bit of elbow flexion, but you want that arm straight, and then strong grip, and then no slack in the band. All right. Once you got that set up, then you can walk inward, and you can feel tension develop here. If you don't, keep on pushing the top of your humerus back into your shoulder, and then you'll feel tightness develop here. You want that. All right. Now I've got myself in a pretty good way here. Pretty good challenge. I don't know if I can get myself out. All right, now I can. Okay, there we go. Now I'm feeling it. Okay, keep the shoulder down as you do this, and you're going to be in a good way. All right. That's your row. Now, on to the bridge. My assistant set me up here as we was doing that one. All right. So, hope I didn't make you dizzy. This is one of my favorite exercises of all time. No, it is actually, because for a lot of reasons. Number one, it's hard to mess up. So you don't have to really worry about doing this one. I say that with probably some caveats, but I can't think of any. Because you've got so much feedback with the whole of your posterior is against the floor. So you got that feedback there. You don't need a mirror. Number two is you're just really using gravity. And, you know, you overextend at the hips, you're going to feel it in the low back at the top. And then there's certain cues I can give you that make it even more kind of field proof. So one of which is I always tell people, and you're going to have to really look here because I'm really going to focus on the edge or the corner of my heels. And so, you know, you get in this position here and you want to relax the head. If you find that the back of your head can't touch the ground, you might be really, really flexed in your T-spine. You know, and it's not possible for you to hit the ground with your T-spine in the back of your head too. So in that case, take something like a pillow, or in this case, a blanket, because you want to relax this, you want to relax your upper traps. But if you can, you know, just relax the head against the ground, relax the neck, the upper traps. And then furthermore, you can do even more here by opening the palms up to the ceiling and pushing against the floor with the top of your back. And with your feet, you know, I want to get my heels as close to my bottom as I can because that's going to give me more range of motion. I'm going from here to here. I'm going to breathe in as I lower. I'm going to breathe out. That is a bridge. There's many different ways people manipulate it. You can manipulate it with tempo. You can manipulate it with elevation, whether that's the shoulders or the heels. You can manipulate it with stability. You know, you can have your feet on something like a suspended handle or something like that. But you can also take away the feet, and that's the first thing I go to if I want more of a challenge. So if the two-footed version is just too easy, you're knocking out 50 at a time, don't think you have to increase the number because you don't want to spend all day just, you know, checking off that exercise box. So go single leg and go here. Remember I said don't round or arch the lower back. Sometimes people will reach point A to point B by just thinking about their belt buckle. And see, your hip is capable of up to 130-degree range of motion, but a lot of times that's the lower back becoming involved, and you want to really differentiate between the two. So finalize each rep by squeezing the glute and then lowering back down, and that's one of the best ways to challenge yourself on that move because a lot of times we think we're hip extension and really we're lumbar over extension. Okay, so again, if you're doing the two-footed version and the one-footed version is too much of a challenge, then do a hybrid of both of them. And that is raise yourself up with two and bring the toes up off the ground. That's another way because you don't want to go here. And I've seen many people do it. They're so tight in the calves. You want to emphasize heel into the ground. So I curl my toes up toward my knees. I was talking about that hybrid. Push yourself up with both feet. Take one foot off. Lay and lower back down. Now repeat it. And then just drop the other one. All right. And you would still want to do 10 on both feet. Alternating. You could do 10 total. It just depends on how much that's taken out of you. If you reach 10, total, 5 aside, alternating, or 5 at a time, and it's forms breaking down, then I'd stop. And that goes for any exercise, anytime. But if you feel like I've got a pretty good handle on this, then go on up to 20. All right, now we're ready for push-ups. Well, we can fill the chest criteria with other things, but it's easiest with push-ups, and that's because in really any surface that you can find will work. And I like the toe position push-up, and I like manipulating the height. So you can see what I'm going for here as I show you an elevated push-up. And I can go here on the seat. I can go here on the backrest, or I can go here with the wall. In each version, just remember, this is a pretty good general rule of thumb here for any exercise you do, is keep the shoulders and the ears apart. You want space here. You don't want them getting close together, too close. You gotta be like the chaperone in the junior high dance party. Too close. So yeah, push-ups, find a challenging height that you can return to. It's going to challenge you, and look to lower yourself with any piece of furniture over time. So next up, and I feel like I'm doing a disservice by just giving the plank out of hand, but let me show you two versions. All right, there's a typical plank, and I just say that because I feel like it's such an ubiquitous exercise. It's everywhere. It's just, I've done a version of the plank fit my ass. Well, yeah, maybe. I just think I got questions about that. Anyway, we're here, and then we're here. And that Quasimodo thing I got going on with my back, that's called kyphosis. I'm kind of wanting to do that. So I want to bring my shoulder blades together, and then I will instantly feel it where I want to. That's in the abdominals. You don't want to snag in the lumbar, so to prevent that, kind of drive the heels. I'm prone to doing that when I go like right here. So push the heels back, and then bring the elbows down just a little bit. Now, if your hands are up here, you're naturally going to bring the shoulders toward the ears. So make sure those elbows are just underneath the armpits. And then, as far as the hand position goes, you're generating kind of artificial tension and kind of cheating the exercise when you go here. You can push into the hands with each other and kind of generate some tension. Now, that's not always a rule of thumb with some exercises. And then I think that's a pretty good middle ground between not being able to do a 2-footed plank or, having to do a knee position plank. I think you can go here, then here, and then here. That's eventually where you want to get. And then, maybe go here, keep the shoulders down. But I'm okay with that if you're still using good form in the back. It's all about the abs. You want to hit the abs. And that's the abdominal musculature in the front. We've also got transverse abdominals. That's the deeper layer, and it looks like a cummerbund, I think. Wraps around horizontally. You've got your obliques, which we're going to hit next. And just think the diagonal lines going down, and then other diagonal lines going the opposite way. So it looks like an X. It's kind of cross-hatched right through here. So a lot of times, it's kind of funny. This brings to a good point. A lot of times people will hit that by doing this right here. I'm sure there's a reason or a use for that kind of particular pattern, and they're probably hitting, they're hitting the obliques. But there's more effective ways of doing that, and more real life ways that you'll find beneficial, and that is to get that rotation in. And what we need is, we can go with, tell you what we'll do. Use any weight here. And we'll do this man ball chop. And we'll go from here. And I want you to pivot. If I'm heading to my right, then I'm going to pivot on my opposite foot. And I'm going to use that force that I generate on my pivoted foot and transmit it up my body to the arms. I'm trying to get in a position where you can see my feet. All right. All right. So do 10 aside. Little squat there. 10 aside, take a good break, and then keep on going. Fill 20 minutes and keep on working on extending that time. Get your good warm up in. We'll talk about that later, but I just wanted to get this workout to you because I feel like I've been remiss on that. There's some people out there I haven't talked to in a while, and this is for them. And you know who you are. Contact me if you got any questions. Hola.